third-generation racer Steve Wallace, already with 10 top 10 finishes in this 2010 NASCAR Nationwide Series. He also comes to Watkins Glen 7th in series points.
Here you go. I brought you guys a present.
All right.
Here you go, Elliot.
Thank you, sir.
I stole his thunder. I took the first two boxes. He had them all for you guys.
Go ahead.
Please take that.
You know what?
There you go.
I never realized that you wind up being just like Darryl.
DWC.
Taking everything, right?
He don't want to be called that. Here you go, folks.
Well, listen, while they're arguing over the energy drink, I want to look at you two guys and ask both of you something. And Steve, I think you can probably answer it even better than Brendan. Rusty Wallace Incorporated is in its 7th year. And you guys have had 2 good, solid years. You both finished in the top 10 in points last year. You're both sitting there right now. But Rusty Wallace Incorporated, 1 win in those 7 years. Is the man getting a little ready to go back to victory lane?
I'd say so for sure, but, you know, the past 4 or 5 weeks we've been really, really strong. You know, at Iowa, I really deep down feel like I had a car that could win the race. We had a really bad pit stop the last stop, and that just killed us. But, you know, we raced hard all night, but our cars are getting better and better. I just feel like as a team we need to just be at just a 10th better, because we're 6th to 10th every week, and just that little bit of 10th, man, we'll be better that way, you know. So
it's just like Cup. A 10th is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot.
Stupid, you know. So.
And your dad was always a hands-on racer, you know, when he was coming along. Brendan's already laughing. How much is he, as far as being a hand-on owner? Like, how much does he want to just say, let me drive and fix it, or like when you're testing and doing stuff like that?
He's there all the time. We've tested a lot this year. He's
he jumped in the car. He jumped in at Pikes Peak.
And he was only 10th off the first lap. But, you know, I think father like son, I'm real hands-on, real into my chassis a lot. And feel like that's, been paying off for us. But we got to work on these things, a little bit harder. We got to test more and just got to get this 5-hour Toyota in victory lane for sure, man.
And I'm not hands-on, so he really doesn't like that.
He likes scuba diving and all that stuff. I like to work on the race cars a little bit, you know.
Well, when you mentioned that, Brendan, I mean, how much stuff are you trying to incorporate to be like a Cup team? And you guys get together after a practice session and debrief. I mean, crew chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, you've got a parrot working in your house over there.
You don't give him none of this energy drink, do you?
You don't need it.
Somebody who has worked, with your dad, Rusty, was Buddy Parrott. Now you got Todd Parrott, working on your car.
Brad.
So,
We got Brad.
Brad working on your deal.
You know, it's Rusty. He really does. I feel bad for Steven to a point, because I know what it was like working with my dad. And it's difficult, and Rusty comes by, but Steven knows the chassis. They know that stuff. I don't know it that well, so I got to rely on Brad and our engineer Jason to take what I tell him and turn it into something. But after each practice, Steve today in the middle of practice, he got out of the car, he came over, was asking me about something. I came over asking them about stuff. We've been working a lot. Our cars now are very similar. We're doing similar setups when we start each weekend.
We're a lot closer than I have been, for sure.
And so we're trying to make it where we can use both cars for information, and we can see it. I think it was New Hampshire. Both of us were bad. Like, both of us just weren't good.
Either really good or really bad.
And we looked at each other. What are you doing? Same thing as you, numbnut. It's like we both stunk. So I was like, okay. But now in Iowa, we were both really good. And other places, we're both really good. It's like, hey, we can, he's doing a little spring here. I'm doing a sway bar here. So it works out well. When you're good, both are great. But, man, when one's bad, they're both bad. You're like, dang it.
If I wreck, he'll wreck. If he runs bad, I run bad. If I run good, he runs good. So
Both of you are numb nuts.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to say it.
No, I'm not going to say it. Back with teammates Stephen Wallace and Brendan Gaughn. And, Steve, I introduced you as a third-generation racer. We know your dad won a championship. But a lot of people aren't familiar with the background or the career that your grandfather, Russ, had in racing. Talk a little bit about that. He was pretty serious in his day.
Yeah, well, actually, both my grandparents did. Russ and my grandpa Ed. My grandpa Ed got me started in racing, but, the Wallace family goes back a bunch. My grandpa Russ, won a lot of short-track races, through Missouri. Then it was my dad, then my uncle, Mike, and then Kenny. So we've been a racing family. In fact, my grandma's raced, and my mom and dad met at a short track when they were, really young. So it's just a racing family,
So both grandparents, that's how your mom and dad met, because they were both involved.
My grandpa Ed raced, and he was best friends with my dad's dad, Russ. So my grandpa Ed's responsible for me racing for sure.
Since we're talking about family stuff, I know Brendan used to always run so good in that 62 truck and now racing with the Wallaces. What's on the future for it? You going to run any more trucks, or you going to run some more nationwide next year? You kind of know yet?
Going Formula One, right?
Yeah, Formula One. I'm going Formula One racing. Yeah.
You keep losing weight.
Indy cars again. No, it's just like you, Elliot. If I could get in a good truck, I'd love to go race a truck again. It's all about the equipment you can get into. So I'd love to race a truck again if there was a good one that wanted me in it. I've always wanted to get back to Sprint Cup and give it another chance at it where, a little more on my rules, have a little bit more, security in it, and would love to get with a great team and do that again. Right now, I'm just trying to win races for Rusty. South Point Casino would like to win. 5 Hour Energy would like to win. We'd love to get it for Toyota. They came on board because they expected this team to be able to win some. And we're running top 5 every week. You can't win when you're running 15th every week. When you're running top 5 every week, you can start winning. So we're getting up to that spot where we think we can.
How about the ab circle? Does it do the work, or you have to do the work?
The ab circle is very easy to use.
Okay.
Little disc, swing and sway. You'll listen to Jennifer say swing and sway 100 times.
Swing and sway.
Swing and sway. And we can
hurts.
check it out.
Cool doing it.
When's the infomercial coming out?
Infomercial's supposed to start October or November. Haven't been told exactly when yet, but when I hear it, I will make sure I get the news.
But if we do it, we don't have to get waxed and all that. We just have to exercise.
No, you don't have to get waxed, but I'll tell you what, Hammond might know about the spray tanning a little bit better than I can, but, we can.
So let me get this straight. Swing and sway, and then go get waxed and say Kelly Clarkson. That's
Yes.
the way it works.
That's it.
There you have it.
And you lose 44 pounds.
We're glad you came. We're glad you came by, but Steve, I think we need to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's got to go.
He got to go.
Brendan, thanks a lot, man. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you always having me.
More with Stephen coming up. Stephen Wallace.